guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tornado Survival Season 11. I believe this is episode 9 now. Last time we did some work on a basement, which I have gone ahead and finished, and am looking forward to showing you that it is very lame. I finished out the basics of it, and put some emergency supplies in here. And these guys, his inventory is full, and he's just throwing food everywhere, so I'm just going to keep taking it. Just some basic stuff, in case we have to dig ourselves out, and if, like, blocks collapse everywhere, to get ourselves out of here, since we will not have an emergency crew coming to search for survivors. And then I was going to make another siren and a radar. However, we are out of redstone. I didn't have enough redstone to do that, so I just wanted to test to see if sensors still light up redstone when tornadoes are near, and if that's still their purpose, because I never officially tested that, so that's why I have this down here. And it's kind of like having a siren, right? We can look at this and be like, oh, hey, yeah, tornado's still nearby. So that happened. Skies are looking a bit stormier today. There's been a few days have passed in Minecraft with really no activity. I was getting worried that the storms were broken. But that does not seem to be the case. It was just a rather quiet period of weather, which was really what all of March has been like for me down in Florida. I mean, it has been horribly boring. We had like one day of some showers. It has been sunny and warm, great weather for outside, but that was a thunderstorm earlier, and it has since weakened. Yeah, you can definitely see it, but it's weakening, so sorry guys. Sorry to get your hopes up too much. These guys are farming. So the original plan this episode was to go ahead and build a watchtower, and really was looking forward to getting some sort of tower that we could get up really high and maybe see storms at farther distances. That storm, I guess, is moving towards us. It's just so weak, though. I mean, I guess it's hail and wind. Is that what that is? Is that even moving? Yeah, it's moving towards us, so we'll see. We might get a little rain shower here. But I really would like to build that tower. However, I have like 12 pieces of cobblestone, and I have no redstone, and I have 2 pieces of coal. So we are running very low on resources. I even had to do some farming around town for some extra food. Yeah, let's see. We have 4 pieces of coal. We're doing okay on food now. I have 19 pieces of cobblestone, and I have 29 oak planks. And we do have some diamonds, which I think I want to make a diamond pickaxe, actually. That will probably be helpful, right? We can get ourselves some obsidian so that we can make an enchantment table. But we're out of redstone. We only have 2 pieces, which is not enough to make an extra radar for either the watchtower or the basement, or extra sirens for those locations. And also, you'll need it to make anemometers and wind vanes to probably put on top of sirens and mount them around town. So that needs to happen. And I knew we were going to build this episode, but we literally can't. I can't build those things because, well, as you can imagine, there's nothing to build with. Oh, look, we have a new shower developing. So I wonder if I could bring this with me underground so we can keep track. So just in case something interesting happens, we won't lose anything. But you know what? I think what I'm actually going to do, you guys are in for a treat here. We're going to do, this is actually going to be an entirely storm chasing. Wow! An entire storm chasing episode. Forget the mining. Next episode will be a mining episode, unless something damaging happens to the town. But of course, we're probably going to need resources to repair. Something happens anyway. So, keep that in mind. Next episode, mining episode. So if you don't ever want to see me mine, then just wait until next week's episodes come out. But next time we'll be mining, and then after that we'll get building on a tower and working on some stuff around town. But we're going to do storm chasing. So I'm just going to run around and track some storms and see if we can see some exciting weather. Because it has been too many episodes with, I mean, I guess it's been like, what, episode 3? Well, of course, the tornado was in like, what, 1 or 2? And then seeing a sandstorm happened recently. That was kind of exciting, but still, that was like 4 episodes away now. And plus, you guys had a week break in there because I was busy moving, didn't have internet. So, you guys didn't see anything that week because it was just Scam and I playing. So that's also something to think about. And if that's the case, well, I think it's going to be storm time. So, while we watch these... Oh, that shower dissipated. We have a new one developing. I imagine it's not going to be moving towards us. It kind of is, actually. Again, I'm actually fine with storms not hitting us. I'll just have to take this with us, and we'll follow the storms this time. For those of you that have been around a while, do you remember that series of Tornado Survival where I tried to use the car mod, but the car mod was like failing. I couldn't get it to work, but I wanted to drive around with the car in the plains, the car mod in Storm Chase. I think that was the one where I lived in a ravine, which protected us from tornadoes pretty well. So, well, let's hope that that doesn't quickly spin up, even though it's weakening. Yeah. I've looking at the comments, just you guys have been giving absolutely wonderful feedback. You know, maybe not like feedback's probably not the right word, but just wonderful response to the videos. Like, I really love reading all the stories you guys told in the one episode about your worst weather. I mean, there's been a lot of comments on these, and I've really enjoyed watching it. Wow, I should probably get some screenshots. And I really enjoyed doing it. I saw some ideas. I wrote a couple down that I'm very interested in doing. And I'm not going to catch a lightning bolt. That's a once-in-a-lifetime shot. Someone sent me on Twitter a picture of a lightning bolt they captured. I mean, it's hard. It's like capturing a lightning bolt in real life. You have to either get very lucky and by taking a random picture and lightning happens to strike, or you have to be taking a video feed and you just get a screen grab from it. Or you have to have the fancy camera with the long exposure. Either you're just doing a really long exposure and hoping for lightning bolts, or you're and it's got to be dark out, or you're pressing the button at the right time trying to grab it. So I'm surprised it's not even raining. What the heck? Yeah. So what we can do while we wait for this storm to come in, because I think we're going to end up chasing that one that's farther away. I'm going to grab a whole bunch of these saplings here. We'll leave a couple here. You guys, he's through the window. Come on. Dumb. Jeez, oh man. Somebody said we should grow trees. You know, while this is a plain in the desert, that doesn't mean we can't grow trees around the town. And it will act as they had a really good point. It's probably going to act as a very good barrier from sandstorms if we grow trees, a forest on the border of the town, and it'll also allow us to look at storm damage better, because someone did mention that they don't think, most people have said this, that dirt does not get picked up by tornadoes. So it's probably pretty likely that, you know, unless it's either weak or strong where it's doing damage to the wood, it's going to be kind of hard to determine if it's a weak tornado because we don't have, you know, trees to look at the leaves to it. So I think that's a really good idea. Plus, because I need more wood, I think I'm just going to plant a bunch of saplings. We'll start to grow like a really thick forest, and of course make nice paths. But someone had the idea of doing this. I don't remember who. Oh, it was Anime, Manga, and Much More. That was his channel name, because everyone's got channel names on YouTube's instead of, you know, usernames nowadays. So thanks for that feedback and that suggestion. This will help to filter in the sand, so the sand will get caught in the trees on the other side of the fence. Although I still want to see if the fence works. So I'm just going to start by planting the forest on this side. We'll leave it exposed at that time, because I just want to see if the fence works by itself. Of course, we'll get other things grown later, but I think it'll help. I need some stuff anyway. And we need something to gauge tornadoes by, I think, a little bit better. So this is a great idea. We'll have to work on some gardening, maybe build a river better. But of course, I can't build trees here anyway because, well, there is no grass. We'd have to plant some and tear up all that sand, which we're not going to do yet, but sooner or later we probably will. Another project for the future, once we do more of these, and once I forgot I'd mentioned about doing this, is I wanted to keep a record of all of the big weather events we've had. And I don't remember, I don't think I wrote down anything about the sandstorm. I wrote down on a sign that first tornado we saw, but I think that big sandstorm we had right when we moved into town was worth it. I think those are the only two notable weather events we've seen so far. And the person mentioned that on this island, it would be really neat if we built a weatherproof building and we kept all of the records in that room of all of the weather. And I wish I remember, it was Robert Allen. So thanks for commenting that. On this island, we are going to build a weatherproof building, which means it's going to come after the weather tower. Here comes the rain finally. Sounds like it, at least. We'll build a weatherproof building, and in that building, we'll be able to go revisit all of the weather events that we have witnessed and recorded on all of our adventures. So I think that's definitely a really neat idea, but that's going to be a couple episodes down the road once we see another weather event or two. and once we get some other stuff going. So, good news is, well, bad news is that storm has continued to weaken. And good news is there's a new rain shower developing out this way. It's moving away from us. But I think it might be worth storm chasing. I think this might be one for us to go after. So we're going to go hit the road and follow this storm for just a little bit. Yeah, we're now in the rain showers. So we're going to follow it this direction and see if it's something to worth watch and to see if it'll strengthen up into some sort of tornado. As I don't believe there's been a tornado anywhere on this map since that first day, which is, we got to be due for one. I mean, I know I turned the settings down for a little bit, but... So we're going to take a storm chase adventure, which this will be good. Some more things to talk about. You guys have definitely commented, like, more people have come out. It's one of those things where you do something in a video and like 1 or 2 people comment talking bad about it, but then you're like, okay, I'll stop doing that or start change how I do that. And then once you start doing that, then like tons of people come out and say, no, we liked it the other way around. Don't listen to that 1 or 2 people. The majority is actually this. We're just the quiet majority because we don't comment anything because we like that you do it. So they definitely want me to talk more, give some more weather insight into things. So I think that's what I'm going to continue to do. So let's see if this radar's nice and portable. We could maybe go conquer that. Oh, wow. Weather's much more active over here. Look at that. We got 3 rain showers. Now we got to, okay. First of all, disclaimer. Storm chasing is extremely dangerous. You should not attempt it as an amateur. You should have proper meteorological training and proper experience. Do not try and do it brand new by yourself. It's very dangerous. And I'd have to put that out there. Nobody should be doing storm chasings just because you've watched some of my videos on Minecraft, okay? This is something that, safe for experts, and a lot of meteorologists don't even do it because of how dangerous it is and because of how reckless it can be. So please don't attempt. We can talk about storm chasing things at a later time, but I just want to put that out there. But when you are storm chasing, this is the tricky part. You got to pick a storm. Here we have 2 rain showers to our north. We have 1 rain shower to our south, or it's probably west and east. I don't really know my directions right now. Oh, it is actually 2 to our north, 1 to our south. Which storm do you pick? Because if we go up to storm 2 and 3, or 1 and 2 at the top here, and then this storm on the southern end starts to kick up, that's going to be unfortunate. We're going to be far away from it. It's going to be hard to get back to it. Chances are by the time we get to it and see that it's increased in intensity, you're out of luck. So it's always very challenging to pick a storm, and often you'll have a wide area of storms going to form, but you have to pick a starting location. And we have more showers popping up to the south. So a good rule of thumb that you know meteorologists will often use. So if we're watching these showers here, they all 3 appear to move. Okay, that one weakened, but let's look at these 2 and imagine they're strengthening thunderstorms. They're both moving in a similar direction. And to the south is going to be the warm, moist, unstable air flowing into the storm system. And what will often happen is the storm that's farthest to the south, at the end of the line of storms, which might actually end up becoming this one, at the end of your line of supercells developing, the one towards the bottom, the south, the end of the line is most likely usually to become tornadic and grow because it has ample access to undisturbed, moist, unstable air. This storm system is going to eventually start sucking into it air that has been contaminated by that shower, or the storm system to its south, its outflow. As this storm will continue to grow, this one will be starting to take in less stable and stable air. Now, that's always the key. You know, if they're spaced out enough or the environment's extreme enough, you'll get a whole line of these things gone up. However, this does not appear to be the case because those just weakened. They don't appear to be turning into thunderstorms, which is kind of lame. So that's unfortunate. But that's kind of a good rule of thumb. If those all 3 were lined up, I probably would have picked this one down here by itself down to the south. Of course, seeing them on radar, how they're developing, one of them might already be severe at that point. You can watch lightning trends, see how it's rotating as it is. You know, what's the environment like? Of course, I'm also going to think about terrain. I don't want to run through, and the southern one went into a storm. We have ourselves a thunderstorm. First lightning strikes. Save that other comment for later. That is always very exciting when you are looking at radar and you see your first bolt pop up as you're driving to the storm, or you're watching the storm, you're watching your little tower, cumulus tower develop, and all of a sudden you see a cloud to ground strike come out of the storm. Very exciting. Of course, lightning is very dangerous and is probably more likely to be killed well, I have almost been hit by lightning multiple times storm chasing. Almost been killed by a tornado only like half of the time, sort of. Lightning is much more dangerous. Or if for those of you that don't have a fancy weather app and you're sitting at home or you're driving, say you're on a road trip. Some of you might not know this. You're on a road trip, and here you are driving along, and you think you see a storm developing in the distance, but you don't have a fancy weather app that tells you if that shower you see on radar has lightning in it, and you're too far away or you're driving so you can't really hear the thunder. Turn on your AM radio. You can either pick an AM station that you can pick up clearly, or you can just put it to like a random channel that's just static. And if lightning is striking, even if you're like, I've been 60, 100 miles away from the storm, if that thunderstorm is anywhere like within the range of that radio station you're picking up, or if you're not on a station at all, you're just picking up static, when lightning strikes, it'll send out radio waves at at that frequency, and it'll cause a disturbance in it. So you hear a static in your AM radio, and that little that you hear, you'll know it's a very specific noise of static, and it'll be brief. And if you are in a thunderstorm, say at night, even at home, a good way to test out so you can start to know like what it sounds like, you can sit at your window watching, you'll watch the flashes of lightning. Of course, if it's not a severe storm, you're not going to be out near the window. What you can do is sit down, and every time you see the flash of lightning, almost instantly you're going to hear the static, sometimes before you even hear the thunder. And it will do you pretty good at learning what it sounds like, and you'll realize that it's basically immediate because, of course, radio waves they travel the speed of light. It's electromagnetic radiation. It travels just as fast as light does. It's a wave of energy. So you're pretty likely to see that, and that storm's still strengthening, which is good. So we're going to go run down this way a little bit. We're near our original tornado damage track. So we might have found, like, for instance, your Davis Mountains, I believe is what they're called in Texas, that are prone for poking above the cap and setting off your initial convection on dry line days or some weak cold fronts. So maybe these are the mountains in the desert that kind of break through the cap. It's actually probably those mountains. Those are the big mountains. Which another time to explain why terrain can induce thunderstorm development. That's for a later day. Don't hear any lightning yet. What gives? Am I running the right direction? It's also nighttime now. Storm chasing at night you never do. I always run for my life when it's nighttime. We go home and go to sleep. I think it's weakening now. Oh, that's lame. Disappointment. Disappointment is the other... Oh, there we go. The other main storm chase thing. 9 chases out of 10, you will come home disappointed, tired. You'll have a couple gas tanks of fuel that you'll have ruined, killed, spent all that money on. So I think I was saying something else earlier about something in storm chasing and I got interrupted. I'm not really sure. But it's nighttime now and I didn't bring a bed. So I think this storm's going to be kaputs. I'm going to hide in the cave here until it turns to daytime. And we'll see if we have more luck chasing tomorrow. So we're gonna go hide away in here and let time pass, because I don't remember what I was saying, so I apologize if I did not finish a comment or an explanation. I don't really remember. Oh god. We'll just do this. Well, that thunderstorm kicked up a sandstorm once it hit that desert with its outflow, as it still continues to hold its strength but not getting any stronger. So that sandstorm is rapidly moving towards us along with those 2 new showers that have popped up, but it is still nighttime outside, so we're going to hide in here. Plus that sandstorm's going to blow through, although it's starting to weaken. So that's, wow, it's really whipping out there. Look at that. Those sandstorms are cool. I mean, that is definitely connected to that thunderstorm, so those little details are pretty darn neat. Oh, wow, we got lightning in the sandstorm. Craziness. Well, I'm going to hang on here some more. The sandstorm... Okay, I said that. It's picking up again. Pig came in here to join me, and the sun was about to peak up, and there's multiple showers that have developed down here, so I think it's going to be worth my time to continue in this direction. I hope some of you have gone to my second channel to view some of my storm chase videos. I don't take the best footage because I don't storm chase often. I really wish I would more. I just have chased a couple of times, and it just really sucks when things don't work out as forecast, because the way this works is oftentimes when you're storm chasing, it's usually, if it's gonna impact your house, just stay at home all day. Like, maybe drive up to the local field or Walmart parking lot to get a good view when it gets close, but just hang out at home. It's so much safer, more reasonable. You can do other stuff like play Minecraft while you wait for the weather to hit. Um, so oftentimes when you're storm chasing, you're having to. Wow, those showers making me look dumb. There was nothing. Well, I'm gonna go back to those plains over there. There was just, you often have to drive, and it's usually 4 8 hour drive, or you're going to take a trip, or so essentially what happens is you have to, the night before, pick out a good location, a general location for where you want to go, and in the morning you fine tune that, but you have to wake up crack of dawn, because you're going to be driving the first 3 quarters of the day. You're going to drive from the time you wake up at sunrise until the convection initiates. The storms begin to fire during the afternoon, and you're gonna have to adjust where your location is a little bit. But if things don't work out as planned, like the storms don't quite develop, or you pick the wrong place, it just sucks. You just spent all this gas money, you wasted your day off, you spent the whole time in the car. I don't mind some time in the car, but I'm not spending the whole dang day. So that's just no fun. And it's just, it can be very disappointing, and that's kind of why I don't do it very often. I only do it if it's like a epic outbreak and I'm like, there's a really good chance I'm going to see tornadoes or a good intercept, or I'm like totally bored and just craving weather, or it's going to be like close to home. I only have to drive 20 minutes down the street to see a good storm. So that's why I don't most. And when I do don't storm chase, it's usually because like I just want to see it, and oftentimes I end up being the driver. Just the way I prefer to drive and make those kind of decisions. I feel a lot of people aren't safe when they drive in storm chase. They're looking at the storms too much, or they're trying to like look at radar and figure things out. So I prefer to be the driver, and that often means I don't get time to take a lot of pictures. So whenever all my footage from that, I'm not one of those storm chasers that's in it for the market of selling my photography. So my quality is definitely not very high, but I think I get some good pictures and good photos with my phone and with my GoPro. And most of them are either the car has been stopped, of course, and it's like out the window as we're about to clip in the edge of the storm, or I am. Oh, we should get some jungle saplings. Or I have stopped the car and we pulled over somewhere in some driveway or parking lot, and I'm taking pictures mounted from the tripod and whatever from there. So oftentimes that is where it is, which means my quality is not the highest, but I think I get some good stuff. I had some good storms last summer, mostly shelf clouds, because I love myself a shelf cloud, a good shelf cloud. So, and I think we had a couple good chases. The one day I let my friend drive, so I think I got a little bit more footage. And of course, when you see me intercept a couple of the storms, get hit by the cores of them, of course, I am an expert meteorologist. I know how to read radar. I know how to read a storm. So I know when it's safe to be like, okay, just stop outrunning it. We're going to take a hit from the storm. I know when it's safe to do that. And I know when it's safe to say, keep hauling butt. Either there could be rotation, or there is a chance of hail in this that's going to blow our windshield out, or it's one thing just to take wind and wind, but 90 miles an hour can roll your car if you don't angle your car into the wind, and if you have to worry about a few other things. So it's important things to consider. There's a lot more things to consider storm chasing than you think, and oftentimes it ends up being way scarier than you expect it to be as well. So another disclaimer, but yeah, so I think there's a little bit. I've seen some of you have gone over there, not too much recently. I'll maybe link that at the end in my note card of this video. At the end, I'll play the playlist of my storm chasing group, and I think that's just what I've done over the last like 6 months of storm chasing I've done. I did take a trip to the plains. However, my footage was not the best because I was the driver of my car, and we actually saw some very serious weather, as you can imagine, in the plains. And I had a much crappier phone, So I did not have my friends have some crazy videos and pictures that really puts it into, you know, perspective of what we were seeing. There is a sapling, but I don't. So the footage of that is only okay. So it's all from a distance before we were driving, because we got some really good stuff, but it was because we were still in the car, or we weren't out of the car very long because we were running hail, or we were trying to stay ahead of the mob of chasers following the storm. So well, this episode is running long, and it's not really exciting. We haven't seen a tornado, so I feel like we're going to go back and we're going to try and mine. Of course, that's the day the tornado is going to pop up. But I think we got to call this chase quits. I think we do. I'm recording this on Wednesday, and the video needs to be up by now. So I really want to get this updated to get something out. I think some of you will enjoy this a little bit. A little bit of weather knowledge before some serious weather is going to be hitting the southeast and the middle Mississippi Valley over the next couple of days. So please stay safe, stay weather aware. If you hear of a potential for severe weather in your area, please look at your local meteorologist's forecast. He'll be relaying information from the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center. And make sure you have ways to get alerts even in the middle of the night, which will involve a NOAA weather radio or your cell phone with its volume up. And make sure it has to be a recent smartphone that has your alerts enabled, which they are by default unless you've gone out of your way to turn them off, which would be really dumb. But please make sure you do that. I am going to make my way back into town, and if weather happens, I will be sure to let you guys know. Of course, I will not let you miss it. But next episode will be kind of a storm chase. We're going to do some mining underground, but also continue to watch the radar in case interesting things happen. And I might actually pick a mine on the way back if I see something good. That will be because I want to try to not spend too much time in our village just hanging around in case weather happens and it actually hits our village. I want to have the infrastructure built up. So I'll probably pick something on the way back, and maybe we'll conquer a dungeon or two. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it wasn't too terribly boring. I know I would have found it interesting if I watched it, but that's not really saying much. So, and LOL at the people that comment on my mic quality after all these years. It's still the same. Yep, I'm still using this same old headset. So I apologize, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. This mic quality is here to stay. Unless someone ships me a $200 fancy one, this is what I'm using. So thank you guys so much for watching. You're awesome. I'll talk to you guys later. See ya!